Good morning, afternoon, all of those things. Is it me or is it freezing in here? Yes, just me. All right, so I'm gonna have everybody just get up because most of you have been sitting down for a second, and I'm hoping to not put you to sleep as we stand before lunch. So just stand up for me. Get a little energy going in the moon. Yes, I'm making you do work. All right, awesome. Just like stretch out a little bit, get ready. Some of you look like you could use it. Thanks for the smiles. Thanks for the frowns. Awesome. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, if my clicker works, we're going to talk about something that I'm really passionate about as a creative entrepreneur, which is efficiency. Because everybody always talks about effectiveness, but there's not enough people thinking about efficiency. And I think efficiency is effectiveness. So first, a little bit about me and why you should listen to me. So I started a creative agency out of a little over 20 years ago, and I've had the pleasure of working on some of the world's leading brands, and specifically working with challenger brands to help them punch above their weight. So as we all know, you can't outspend to win today. So this is just a little bit about who I am, the types of brands that I work with. So I've worked across multiple industries, started my career in sports marketing with ESPN. I've worked in CPG, B2B, B2C, and everywhere in between. So I'll just really quickly show you some of the work that I do. It's specifically focused on brand building, specifically how do you create experiences and strategies that move people through every step of the journey. So what you see on the screen here is just a little bit of some of the work that we've done for some of the world's leading brands. And what they all have in common is they've got a story that they're trying to tell, and they have to figure out every step in the journey. And you can't just do it with ads. You can't just do it with singular tactics. So I show this really briefly just to show you that all of these brands have one thing in common. They want to get to know who their best customer is. They want to find a whole bunch more people like them. And they want to drive up long-lasting lifetime value because they know it's not just about making your ad account work or making the next Gen AI tool or chatbot tool work. So this is just a little bit of the work that we do. So the reason I'm here to talk to you all today is I've been working recently with a really interesting company called Maestra. And what I love about what Maestra is doing is they're poking right into something that I think is uniquely interesting, which is that marketing technology continues to get much more complex and much more expensive, but you're still asked to do more with less. So this is a real tech stack that one of my companies is dealing with. Does this feel like you guys sometimes? A whole bunch of redundancy, right? You look at this and you say, like, how is it possible that they're using all these platforms when many of them quite literally do the exact same thing? Right? From attribution, to data, to CRM, to offers, to promotions, all the things in between. And this is literally a real tech stack for an 8-figure company that one of my companies is dealing with right now. So just a show of hands, as marketers, do you ever feel like this, where you're trying to make a change to your site, you're trying to make a change to a promo, and you're like super pumped that the change happens and it doesn't break one of the many tools? Like, just show of hands, do you guys live this on a daily basis? If you're not raising your hand, you're not listening or you're lying. So what I love about this is we sort of get high on our own supply as marketers and e-commerce leaders. So I love this stat. If you've read the marketing tech survey from Gartner, 33% of the features in the stack that you have right now, on average, you or people like you are using. And that's down from 58% in 2020, and it's continuing to plummet. So we constantly talk about efficiency, we constantly talk about effectiveness, but we're contradicting ourselves. I love this stat from Chief Martech, Scott Brinker, as a friend, and we all believe that there's all these features in our Martech stack that are worth utilizing, and then there's these features that are not worth utilizing, but we're contradicting ourselves. We go out, we want to sign up for the next widget, we want to buy the next tool, we want to drop in the next JavaScript snippet, which slows our sites down and hurts us in so many different ways. And that's because we keep lying to ourselves. So this is the sea of Martech. We've all seen this, right? And the reality, folks, is that there's a million tools out there. And many of them quite literally do the same thing. But let's be honest with ourselves. There's not a million hours in all your day. And we kind of feel like this right now, right? Like CAC costs going up, ROAS keeps going down. It just seems like it's getting harder and harder from the old glory days of Meta back in the day. So this is the year of media madness, and it's going to only get worse from here. So these are some recent stats. You can see we're seeing rising CPMs. It's getting harder to target. All these new data privacy laws are coming out. You know, we talk about this cookieless future and all the other buzzwords, which I won't bore you with today because I don't have the time to do it. But the reality is, competing for minds and wallets in the attention economy is hard. right? And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. It's not your competitor that's the thing that's standing in the way of your purchase and your LTVs. It's understanding the share of mind and wallet of the customer. Because we're just bombarded, and the information diets that we have today, we are information obese as a society. And it's only getting worse with all these Gen I platforms. And on top of it, this year is both an election year and an Olympics year, which means that the media congestion is going to get harder and harder. $15.9 billion in anticipated ad spend, and that's just in political campaigns, is expected this year. That's up 30% from the last election cycle, if we even call it an election cycle, because we all know what it really is. It's a shit show. So in Tokyo in 2020 saw a digital boom, and Paris is going to see the numbers go up on and on from there. So just, again, if I haven't hit you with enough stats yet, it's getting harder to target. So you're probably wondering, well, what the hell do I do? And that's what I'm going to try to accomplish in the next couple minutes. So on a grand scale, let's talk about the three big things that are affecting every single one of us and our teams. Economic uncertainty. Just show of hands, whose company's gone through a round of layoffs recently? Way too many hands up right now. Number two, inflation, right? Let's be honest, a package of Oreos costs more than some things right now. It's impossible to try to in this country. And then mass layoffs is something we talked about, right? More are coming, and when the Facebooks and the Googles and the Nikes and the Amazons are making layoffs, it's something that makes all of us shake a little bit in our boots as we think about ourselves, our brands, and our families. And the true reality is that customers' expectations have changed, right? They want more. And I'm not talking about Apple Vision Pro walking through the streets getting hit by cars. I'm talking about all these advancements in technology. Talking about all the different advancements in terms of what they can focus their attention on. We're talking about people wanting more immersive shopping experiences. Some of the panelists earlier this morning talked about AR, talked about some of the ways that people are using vision and AI to be able to detect different things and shop with AI and all these different things. And speed and convenience, right? People want to get there faster, they want to be in, they want to be out, and they might not be buying what you're selling. So as brand builders, we have to go further much faster. And in this presentation, I want to talk a little bit about how do we do that. So let's just talk about the squeeze for a second, because I'm a big data person. You'd not expect that as a creative person. But 71% of CMOs believe that they lack sufficient budget to fully execute their strategy. I spent a lot of time with CEOs and CMOs of brands like yours. 86% of marketers said that they need to make significant changes to how to achieve the results that they have. 81% of buyers are talking about some type of AI widget built in. We're in the generate economy in terms of push a button and generate something. And then 84% of businesses said they'd prefer to purchase one platform to solve multiple problems. But yet we continue to contradict ourselves. We say we want everything in one platform, then we get that platform, and then we go back down to smaller platforms. We go big to small and small to big, and the pendulum keeps swinging. In AI, don't even get me started on AI, because I could wax poetic for 3 hours on that topic. It's rewriting the way that we build brands and deliver value. And if you're not using AI right now, and I don't mean like classic AI, I mean Gen AI, different ways of reformatting and delivering your content and your brand experiences, you need to jump on board, because the train is leaving the station at a rapid pace. And anybody watch ASMR videos? Just weirdos like me? So this is an ASMR video in the background, and it reminded me of something. This is a particular account. It's like a hydraulic press. It just breaks shit, and I love that because it's sort of fun to watch. But I don't know about you folks, but I feel like the thing inside the press, not like the press. And the time to market from idea to execution is continuing to shrink, because consumers' perceptions, consumers' demands are increasing. And every one of our bosses and every one of our CEOs that we're working with is demanding more and more and more. We see the role of the CMO in some cases evaporating, right? CFOs and COOs are coming in. It's much more now being expected of every one of us than ever before. So what do you as marketing leaders want, right? You want faster, better, cheaper ways to deliver value to your customers. But honestly, what do your marketing teams want? That's the question we're not asking enough. What do the teams need to win when we're asking them to do more with less? When we're cutting down their team sizes? When we're asking them to deliver more value in a shorter period of time? They want to deal with less context switching. How many browser tabs do you guys have open in your browser right now? Like more than 3? More than 7? More than 50? Yeah, I see you in the back. So what I believe is something that we have to all take advantage of, whether we're the junior person on the totem pole or one of the C-suite executives, is that marketing generalists are going to become more important than ever. And the power of specialization was something that was really being talked about a couple of years ago. But now the person who can understand how all the pieces work, That's going to be the thing I believe, as these platforms get easier, is going to be more important. And don't take my word for it. Take some of the data. And again, if you want the slides, you can hit me up after. I'll send them to you. So how do you do more with less? You get the clicker to work. That's one thing. So how you do more with less, one of the things that I think a lot of brand leaders talk about when they think about innovation is more. I actually think what you need to do is less. And what I mean by that specifically is you have to look at all the things that are working. So we have a process that we go through. Yes, it uses fancy technology. It's called the demand audit. And you get this kind of traffic light map of what's working, green, yellow, red. And what I always tell people is focus on how to keep the green green, focus on how to move the red to yellow, and stop trying to do everything all at once, right? Sometimes it's doubling down on what's working most. That's going to give you a lot more efficiency than trying to just launch a new tool or install a new platform. I mentioned it before, but if you're not already leveraging generative AI, whether it's in the ad creation, your PDPs, your product experiences, marketing messaging, and personalization, there's so many platforms that are out there right now. And I'm not just talking about ChatGPT. You heard about some of the panels this morning. There's a lot of ways that you can train your brand voice and tone on many of these foundation models, whether it's Anthropic or OpenAI or Mistral. And these are platforms that are both open and closed source, and they're widely available to all of you. And these are just some of the ways you can do it. Pictures, images, videos, sound, lots of different ways to leverage generative AI. I'm happy to nerd out with anybody on the break if you want. And the last thing that I think we need to talk about today is just how do you streamline your path to scale? Because I think a lot of times we keep trying to go after the next big platform and the next big widget, but the tools we need are actually already open in your browser tabs right now. You just need to double down and use them a little bit more better. So if you're looking for cheat codes, I myself was looking for cheat codes. I was running up against, we're Segment partners, Klaviyo partners, partners in all the different platforms. And one of the things that I was looking for, I saw teams really struggling to get more things done in one platform. And I came across this company, Maestra, and that's actually how I got connected with them. I don't work for Maestra. And what I realized is they had a workflow builder, they had a promotions rule engine, they had pop-ups, banners, and stories editor, and a visual email composer. And instead of jumping through that crazy big long Jenga tower trying to do 5 different things in 5 different platforms, their platform let it do all in one thing. Cut down on CDP costs, helped us increase personalization, and helped us move some of the most important metrics, reducing CAC costs, increasing lifetime value, getting higher AOVs, getting easier to export data for more junior people that don't have some of the seasoned marketers on their teams like you do. And that's ultimately what Maestra did. So what they created was an omnichannel marketing hub. And again, this is not a sales pitch for Maestra. What this really is to think about what does your entire customer journey look like, right? How do you flow from the time someone sees something to the time that they're coming back? If you're not doing things like RFM analysis on your email lists, you're missing out. If you're not going deeper on how you look at your cohorts, how you understand what does an A+ buyer look like for you versus a C+ buyer. One of the best ways sometimes to get efficiency for your brand is stop targeting the wrong people. And I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but a lot of CEOs focus too much on revenue and not enough on margin. And what I love about tools like this is you can drive down, you can understand your contribution margins, you can understand your unit economics, you can understand what offers are resonating to who when, and you can move the needle forward. So whether you use this tool or just better use the tools that you have, don't end up like that person in the Jenga GIF who's trying to kind of wobble one of the pieces in the tower and not have it fall down. And now is the time to make these decisions, right? It's not 5 months from now when you're about to be on a code freeze before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And as you heard from one of the people that was on stage just a couple minutes ago, they saw a breakthrough time on St. Paddy's Day, right? Love that case study. We can have magic sales moments anytime, but the reality is that efficiency unlocks effectiveness. And if you've taken nothing away from today's presentation, what I want you all to do is take a long, hard look on what are the major metrics that matter for your brand and start focusing on moving those needles and not just trying to get another tech stack that's going to basically replace something. So I think ultimately it's that efficiency lever that's going to matter most because attention spans are going to go down. So with that, I'm just about out of time. I think I might have time for like one question, but then they're going to kick me off stage. So thank you.